my channel. Today I have for you a video which is all about meal planning. So I did a video previously, I'm eating my hair. Honestly, I need a fringe trim so badly. It's so long and I'm just kind of eating my hair. Anyways, that's besides the point. So I did a video about diet and fitness a few weeks ago, and I will link that on the screen right now. And quite a few people enjoyed that video, so I thought I would do a follow-up video which is all about meal planning and how I organize myself. And if you have children, this might be really helpful because it's all about kind of scheduling and how I manage my time and how do I make sure that I always have nice, fresh, home-cooked food at home. So if you want to find out more about how I meal plan, then definitely please keep watching. But before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. I upload twice a week, so if you want to see more from me, I would love to have you back. Please hit that subscribe button and also the little bell button next to it so that you get a notification every time I upload a video. Okay guys, so I'm ready to talk about meal planning. I've got all my notes here with me, so let's get started. So the first question is, why would you meal plan? So I think that meal planning has really helped me make sure that I eat a healthy, balanced diet. It's really important to make sure that I'm eating enough kind of fish, meat, eggs, veggies, kind of a good mix of everything, and kind of seeing that visually for me really helps me make sure that I plan my meals accordingly, and therefore I make sure that I'm putting in all the nutrients that my body needs and kind of spacing it out properly and making sure I'm not eating too much of something at one point and too little of something else. So it's really helped me achieve a balanced diet. Also, meal planning means that I plan ahead, and this means that I always have kind of fresh home-cooked food at home, which means that I don't tend to kind of go and just grab any kind of unhealthy snack that I can find around because I'm really hungry and I don't have food at home, and you just feel like, well, there's nothing else I can do but just eat kind of a burger or something unhealthy like that. So making sure that I always have food fresh cooked at home is always really helpful to make sure that I'm eating healthy stuff. Also, meal planning makes sure that I always have fresh food, but not only that, it helps me kind of manage my schedule better and make sure that I actually allocate time to cooking my food, which means that it helps me be more organized and not have to kind of stress at last minute and have to be calling Karen up and being like, I don't have any food in the house, just bring this from Waitrose on your way back from work or whatever. So this way I'm well organized, I always have food at home, and it just feels like like a relief actually, that you don't have to kind of stress about meals every time that mealtime comes around. So if you have children, this is also super helpful because it can help you kind of work around their schedules and work around yours and make sure there's always good food at home. And also this helps me sync up with Curran and make sure that, you know, I know what he's doing for the week and, you know, not making extra food and not wasting food. Actually, meal planning, that is a huge thing. It has helped me save so much money and also just made myself feel better about not wasting food, because I used to waste so much food because, you know, I'd end up buying food and then we'd end up eating outlets and I didn't actually use that food, so I would end up wasting so much food. And planning ahead makes sure that I just buy what I need and I use everything that I buy, and I actually end up wasting a lot less food than I did before I meal planned. So basically, meal planning is amazing. You save food, it's healthier, and it just kind of helps you feel more organized, and it actually is quite enjoyable. So today I want to tell you about all my tips and tricks for meal planning. I have been doing this for about 2 years, I'd say now, and honestly, it's worked wonders. So let's get straight into the tips. So my tip number one would be to store recipes that you like. I honestly come across so many recipes, whether it be online or on TV. I love watching cookery shows, so I come across a lot of recipes on TV as well, and you know, sometimes they say, oh, go and check them out on the BBC website or whatever, and I do that, and then I see the recipe and I love it and I think, oh my god, I'm definitely gonna make this, and when it comes around to actually cooking, I couldn't think of anything that I wanted to cook before, because I'd be like, oh, there was that great recipe, but where was it from? What channel did I watch it on? It's honestly the worst. So the most important thing for me has been to actually store recipes that I like and have them all in one place, so that when it comes round to actually planning what we're going to eat the following week, I have all those recipes handy, and I can handy so that I can easily plan what I want to do for the following week. Because actually, lack of inspiration is honestly the worst thing. I find that actually more than cooking, I stress about planning what I'm going to be eating. So having those recipes handy and getting that inspiration straight away is super, super helpful. So what I do now is I just click a picture of a recipe that I see in a magazine, on a paper, on a website, or I save the link if it's on a website, or I kind of copy and paste it into a Word document and save that document, and I do that straight away, and I save all those documents on my Google Drive. So I have my Google Drive on my phone, and I've got a folder, as you can see here, named recipes, and it's super easy to access from anywhere, from the supermarket, whether I'm out on holiday. It's just super easy to access from anywhere, and I have all my recipes stored in there, whether it be an image or whether it be a document file that I can just open and access super quickly, super easily, and there I have it, all my instructions, all my recipes, all in one place. And if I suddenly think, oh, I'm in the supermarket and I can't remember what I need for this recipe, it's super easy because it's on my phone, so I can just check it from anywhere, and it's super handy to have all my recipes in that folder saved. And it also saves a lot of paper because I actually had physical recipes on paper. It was just hard. I didn't have anywhere to store them. I would end up losing the papers. So this way, I just click a quick picture, save it on my phone, and they're all in one place, ready to go. One thing I would say with this is only save recipes that you've tested and that you like, or if you save other recipes, for example, if you see something on a magazine that you want to try out, then save it. But if you don't like the recipe, then definitely delete it, because otherwise you'll end up with just way too many things that you actually don't need or don't like, and you'll end up forgetting which ones you've tried and you didn't like. My second tip would be to actually physically plan on a calendar. I like to do this on the computer just because I am very techie that way, and I like to have things on the computer. But if you prefer to do this on a physical calendar and just put post-it notes, it can help as well, or maybe just use a highlighter to color code. So what I do is, as you can see now on the screen, I actually use this file on Excel that I created. This is actually a template that comes on the Apple computer, but I'm pretty sure you get one of these templates on your normal PC if that's what you have instead. But like I said, you can do it on a physical calendar as well. And what I basically have is I have the plan of the meals that I'm going to cook, and I always do this a week ahead. And what I try to do is plan breakfast, lunch and dinner. I do plan the days that we're going to be out. So mostly we plan Monday to Friday because weekends we tend to eat outside. But just in case we're not doing something specific on one day on the weekend, I try to have kind of backup food at home so that we can eat if we do stay at home. And I try to usually kind of leave leftovers for the weekend that have kind of been saved from Friday, and if we don't end up eating them over the weekend, then somebody can eat them on Monday for lunch. So that's what I tend to do, and what I like to do is kind of plan breakfast, lunch and dinner. Breakfast for me tends to always be the same. Like I explained in my diet video, I like to have my toast with milk for breakfast, and I pretty much have that every day. On the odd day that I don't have bread, I'll have some cereal, but it doesn't change much for me. And neither does it for Karen. So that's kind of a bit out, it's a bit redundant. But then I plan lunch and dinner, and what I do is I code the color of the meal based on whether it's kind of majorly one thing or the other. So if it's going to be kind of main dish of fish accompanied by veggies, then I'll code it blue for fish. If it's going to be a main course of red meat, then I'll code it red. And if it's going to be a main course for chicken, then I'll code it orange. And if it's going to be a main dish, which is mostly veggies, then I'll code it green. So I just kind of go on what the majority of the dish is going to be like, but I always like to do a portion of vegetable and a portion of carbs with every single meal, no matter what it is, whether it's chicken or whether it's eggs or whether it's meat or fish or whatever. I always like to have a portion of veggies accompanying every dish, or a vegetable-based sauce, so that I'm eating veggies with sort of every meal. So what I like to do, as you can see here, I plan what I'm going to eat Monday through to Sunday, and I just code in the days that we're going to be out or the days that Karen's going to be out, and this kind of helps me if I'm planning the week before to do my food shop, know exactly what I need to buy, what am I going to need for those recipes, so what do I need to get at the supermarket. And it also helps us to make sure that we're not eating out too much, and if there's too many kind of purple codes there, it means we're just eating way too much, so we'll try to balance it out on the following week. This color coding also really helps me to kind of visualize and make sure that we're not eating too many eggs, which might have too much cholesterol, or that if one week we've eaten too much red meat, then the following week we're eating mostly chicken and fish. And it just kind of helps me balance out. And what I do is I plan my meals and Karen's meals. He takes a packed lunch to work, but obviously he can't take like grilled fish or grilled chicken because he can't really reheat that up in a microwave. So I will tend to make food with a sauce or something that he can reheat in a microwave. Whereas sometimes, because I'm at home some of the time, then I'll eat like grilled fish or grilled chicken, which I can just make on that moment and eat it. So sometimes our meals are not the same, but I try to plan for this so that I make sure I know what I'm buying when I go to the supermarket. My third tip would be to make an action plan. So make sure that you're planning according to what you have to do that week. And I would say allocate 1 or 2 days for cooking big meals. And this is what I mean by meals that you can pre-prep. So I don't like to kind of prep just a little bit and keep it in the fridge. I like to allocate 2 days a week where I'm actually going to be making a whole bunch of food. Usually it's food that we eat for lunch or that Karen can take and that's kind of reheatable that I can just put in the freezer, stick it in there, and make sure that if one day, you know, I'm really busy at work and I don't have time to cook my lunch or my dinner, then I already have something that's homemade and fresh and nice in the fridge. And obviously this is really helpful for Karen, who takes his food to work, and because they're reheatable meals, I try to kind of bulk cook, and I take 2 days where I kind of cook 3 or 4 dishes that I'm going to be eating throughout that week, and then the rest of the stuff I just make on the spot. So this way I can really plan myself, and I can kind of allocate a portion of time on my schedule to actually do this cooking. But it also means that if, you know, some days I'm really busy at work, I don't have to kind of worry about food and kind of allocate any time to making anything. So what I do is I allocate 2 days to cooking, and I also allocate a day to go and do your food shopping. And what I would say is try to stick to the schedule, because honestly it helps so much. Usually Fridays evenings, which are really quiet for me, I tend to go and do the food shopping, and this means that I have enough food for the weekend and for the week ahead, and then I go every Friday, and this way I make sure that there's always enough food because I buy for the whole week. But if one week I can't go on Friday, then because I've already planned ahead, then the week before I will say, okay, well, let me buy less food because I'm going to go earlier than Friday, or let me buy a little bit more food and freeze it because I'm going to go after Friday. So it's really, really helpful to allocate those days and make space in your schedule to actually cook and buy your food so that you make sure you're never running out of it. Tip number 4 would be to check my cupboards. I don't actually kind of make a list as I go along. Sometimes if there's something that I don't use very often, like kitchen roll or something, then I will write a little note on my phone so that I remember where my shopping list is, and when I go to the supermarket I can just go through my notes on my iPhone and just check what stuff was missing. But otherwise what I do is before I head out to go and do my food shopping, I just go through all my cupboards, and again I go through my little plan of what we're going to eat the week ahead, and I make a little shopping list on my phone, and then I just go to the shops. And this shopping list will include anything that I don't use that often that I've kind of noted down that we need to get during the week, but it will also include what I actually need that week, and it makes shopping so much easier. Going with a list is honestly so helpful because it means you end up saving a lot of money. You just buy what you need and you don't kind of get distracted with all the new offers and stuff that you get in the supermarket. So it's really helpful if you're trying to save up. One thing I also find really helpful is to go through the fridge at the end of the week when I'm planning for the week ahead. I usually tend to do this on a Friday morning because I go shopping on a Friday evening. So on Friday morning I will plan for the week ahead what we're going to be eating. So what I like to do is go through the fridge and see if there's any kind of leftovers from the week before in terms of ingredients. So maybe there's some spinach that was left over from the week before, or some courgettes. So I try to plan my meals for the following week using that kind of leftover stuff that was left from the week before, just so that I don't waste it. And I find this really helpful. It's also useful to get some inspiration because sometimes you just really don't know what to do. So for example, if you've got courgettes, you can kind of go to your recipes and see if there's kind of any veggie dishes that you can use and use up those courgettes. And I find that super, super helpful. Cooking schedule, what I like to do is I like to cook 2 days in a row if I can. So if like Monday mornings and Tuesday mornings are quite free, or maybe evenings, then what I like to do is cook 2 days in a row, so that means that I have food for the whole week and I don't need to stress about it for the rest of the week. So what I like to do is, for example, on Monday I'll cook something that Karen can take to the office on Tuesday for lunch, and that maybe I can have on Tuesday for lunch, also Monday for lunch. And if I cook 2 days in a row, this means that we can alternate and we're not eating the same stuff kind of more than one day. You eat in one day and then you're eating something else, and then you might repeat what you ate on day one. So for stuff that you're going to put in the freezer for the whole week and then you might repeat, and because we're only 2, I tend to batch cook a lot, and usually meals last for at least 2 goes. This is really helpful so that you're not kind of eating the same thing every day and it gets too boring. And my final tip would be to be flexible. Even though I have planned ahead for the week ahead, what am I going to cook? I like to be flexible, and like I said, if I cook 2 days in a row, this means that all the meals are ready and I can be flexible. And even if I'm eating kind of food that I've put in the freezer, I have a choice. I don't have to eat kind of eggs on Monday and chicken on Tuesday, and I can sort of say, well, there's chicken and there's meat today, I fancy having this. So even though I like planning, it's more kind of knowing what dishes you're going to be eating for the next week, rather than saying Monday we have to eat eggs and Tuesday we need to eat fish, because maybe on Tuesday you don't feel like having fish. So I'd say keep it flexible, and just, you know, plan, but don't be too stringent on yourself, because otherwise this can end up being a little bit kind of annoying, and you might be like, well, I don't want a meal plan because I don't know what I'll feel like having on Tuesday or on Wednesday. So that's it, guys. I hope these tips were helpful. It definitely has helped me loads in terms of being more healthy, saving more money, and eating a more balanced diet. So I hope these tips help you as well, and I hope you found this video useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you already haven't, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.